Well, the guys are racing. This is the story of the Spec European Championships. So the grid for the Spec Euro sees Chris Kurzweil with his V-design on pole from Mark Fischer, Andy Moore, Marcus Mobers, Keith Robertson with the associated Oliver Bultnick from Belgium, Mark Stiles, Mick Farrell, Faisal Lee and Simon Rubert of France bringing up the rear. Everything to play for as they leap off the line, and Chris makes a superb start, followed there by Mark Fischer, Andy Moore and Marcus Mobers. Chris here looking as he said, that he had problems with the car in the first couple of minutes, but luckily a couple of mistakes by Mark took the pressure off him, but it certainly did look a bit nervous going around those first few corners. Later on we see right up his backside is Mark Fischer, but he makes a mistake coming up in the second, which allows Andy Moore into second place and takes the pressure off Chris, who's looking to get an easy win in this first leg. Chris still stroking to victory. Andy beginning to pressurise him, but he too makes a mistake, which lets Marcus Mobers in for second place. Andy sets off in chase behind Marcus and in fact manages to get past him later on, but unfortunately he then starts cursed by the problems he had on more than one occasion in these finals, where his cells actually went flat after 6 minutes and Mark Fischer slips through to take a well-deserved third place. Mark Fischer sets off after Marcus Mobers. He's trying to close down to get that second place, but he makes a mistake and lets Marcus take the second step on the podium. But the winner, Chris Kurzweil, almost faultless run there, and that gives him that important first win. So the final result, Chris Kurzweil from Marcus Mobers, Mark Fischer of Germany, Keith Robertson doing very well there, the fourth, the associated driver, Mark Stiles, Mick Farrell, Oliver Bultnick, Faisal, Simon Rubert, and the unlucky Andy Moore bringing up the rear. So with the second leg about to start, Chris knew he just needed to win in this leg and he would be champion. But he made a mistake on the first corner, which caused carnage and took out several of the leading runners. If we look at this again, we can see that Chris spins on the yellow plastic, takes out Mark Fischer, letting Andy Moore, who makes a mistake as well, slides wide. And Marcus Mobers, car 4, is the big winner, and he takes the lead. Andy Moore now stroking the car through. He actually now had taken the lead and was looking really untouchable when again he had the same problem. He ran out of power at 6 minutes, which lets Marcus Mobers just cruise past him along the straight, and Andy unfortunately into retirement for the second race in a row. Behind him there was lots of action, and we saw Keith Robertson emerging from the carnage in second place, which put him actually into quite a good position for the overall championship. Marcus Mobers picking up a win. This gives him a first and a second, which actually puts him in the lead of the Spec class. Chris Kurzweil, he has a first and a third, and Keith Robertson has a second. They're the only three drivers who can win. Basically, Chris, though, needs to win the final race or finish second with a faster time than Marcus. The rest of the pack, well, they're out of it, and poor old Andy, well, he's fighting for scraps. So all the pressure on Chris Kurzweil as he started the third leg. Mark Fischer, Andy Moore, Marcus Mobers, 1, 2, 3, 4 off the grid. Only, of course, Marcus could win this race, but Mark and Andy obviously going for pride, and perhaps one being a German, one being a Brit, they may support their fellow countrymen. As we see there, a good start from Chris, heavy pressure from Mark Fischer, who makes a mistake and lets Andy into second. Andy really seemed to have sorted his problems out and was cruising away at this point and getting really good time, but still couldn't get past Chris Kurzweil. Chris again spun that plastic again, but luckily he blocked Mark, because if he would drop down to third, he would drop out of the overall lead of the championship, but in second place he had a chance. He had a first and second, as would Marcus Mobers. He'd be able to count back who had the overall championship. Mark Fischer pushed and pushed and pushed, but he just couldn't get past Chris, who drove a perfect race in second place. But Andy Moore, in fact, must have been thinking what could have been as he stroked to an easy victory. That was battery problems, perhaps he'd be the European champion, but it wasn't. Chris Kurzweil had the best countback. He won the European champion. He is the Spec class winner. Marcus Mobers very unlucky for second. Keith Robertson very happy for third. Mark Fischer, the German, in fourth. Andy Moore with that win got as far as fifth. Mick Farrell, Mark Stiles, Simon Rubert, Oliver Bultnick and Faisal brought up the end. Let's hear from the happy winner.
It was very intense. Myself, Andy and Mark got a bit of a break on Marcus, which gave us a bit of a space. I then made a little mistake coming on off the end of the straight, spun, which let Andy through. He pulled away, he was a little bit faster in that run. I just basically concentrated on keeping Mark behind me so that I got second, because I knew that would be good enough to win overall. I was hoping to make the A final and maybe scrape the A final in modified. I C1 stock and made the back of the A final in modified, so very happy.
Well, a fantastic 3 races there and a well-deserved winner in Chris Kurzweil. So don't forget to check back regularly every WS for all your updates on all the European Championships all year.